good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning. Happy Monday. And it is November 25th, and it's 8:10 a.m. here in Chicago. My work hours are a little later than normal today. We choose our work hours, but there's a window in which we are expected to be there. It ain't no big deal if we're outside of that window, but there's a typical window where we're expected to be there. But we make our own hours pretty much. But I tried to get to work by 8 o'clock, didn't do it today. But here's what I wanted to ask. Like, everybody's talking about what they're making for Thanksgiving. And just over the years, you got to see different people's Thanksgiving dishes, Thanksgiving plates, whatever. And I noticed nobody does turnip or squash. Now, where I'm from, the way I grew up, that's always a part of Thanksgiving. Turnip and squash. Not turnip greens, but the actual turnip and squash. So I'm wondering is that a New England thing or a Rhode Island thing? Because we do turnip and squash, but I never, ever see that on anybody's plate. So I guess maybe it's just not popular. Also, we do stuffing, not dressing. I didn't learn about dressing until I was a teenager. And dressing is made with the cornbread, right? Or cornmeal or whatever. Stuffing, the way my mother and grandmother and them always made it, they would either use toasted up bread, or they would buy the bag of breadcrumbs by Pepperidge Farm. And then you cook it, with seasonings and celery and, all onions. My mother would put beef sausage in it and green pepper, all of that. And then she would, even though it was already cooked, she would stuff the turkey with it. She stuffed the turkey with it, so when the turkey's done, the whole outside of the stuffing is very crispy because it was exposed, to the heat. And the inside was moist. But, yeah, we never had quote-unquote dressing. I didn't learn about it until I was older. My mother or grandmother and them never made it in Rhode Island. And to this day, whenever I'm making it, I make stuffing. But that one I understand the difference. But did anybody else do turnip and squash? Because that was always a part of our Thanksgiving. But again, maybe that's a Rhode Island thing. And then again, we like pumpkin pie up in Rhode Island. A lot of people do prefer sweet potato pie, but we definitely grew up with pumpkin pie. So I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe Rhode Island is just more into the traditional foods, that were quote-unquote supposed to be Thanksgiving-ish, turnip, squash, pumpkin. Maybe that's it, but I'm sure there are other areas of the United States where they do that. I don't think it's just Rhode Island, is it? I don't know. But everybody's excited about Benavidez versus Morrell. I'm definitely excited. I'm still not, the biggest fan of it being at 175. I mean, they're both such bangers at 168. And they both were very mid at 175. So why wouldn't they just make the weight one more time? One more time. They both know how they go crazy at 168. So why would you fight at 175? That still irritates me. Like, you are both in beast mode at 168. Why won't you just do 168? I bet you if Canelo came to 168, they would be able to make weight, I don't know. I for the life of me can't understand why those two wouldn't do 168. That's just stupid to me. I thought I was done complaining, but I'm not. But as you know, I'm Team Morrell. I do like Benavidez though. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't think of one thing about David Benavidez that I don't like. I just like his personality. Of course, I like the way he fights. I like his energy. I like how he gets all heated and riled up when people talk shit. I can't really say anything negative against Benavidez. And I was one of the very few people who had Benavidez when he was fighting Plant. A lot of you guys, not all of you, but a lot of you guys, Plant. I was like, oh, please. But, of course, I wanted Benavidez to get his ass beat by Andrade, but they decided that was called Opposite Saturday. That's what happened on that day. It was called Opposite Saturday. It was the opposite of what I wanted. But, yeah, so I ain't really saying nothing. I'm just talking shit. But, they did me real dirty in my fantasy football league this week. They did something that most commissioners would have deemed unacceptable or illegal. And they're all basically just mad because I'm beating most of them. Like, I am beating their ass. And they don't like it. So they had done this really nasty conspiracy thing against me. But one of them, I had made a side bet with him. And he was about to win that bet. But when I found out that he was one of the masterminds behind what they did, I said, that bet is off. You ain't the only one who could play dirty. You think you're going to sit back and fucking enjoy a win off of my bet when you conspired against me? You should have been penalized for what you did. You ain't getting shit. He really fucking thought he was about to get handed over some money when he did me dirty like that. They're so mad that I'm still hanging in there. And I don't even fucking watch football. I just wanted to join the football league, and I actually learned a lot. And not only are they mad because I'm beating their asses, they're mad because there's a guy I work with in my department who has been looking out for me from the beginning. And he always told me the only time I'm not going to look out for you is when we are competing against each other. So that week, I can't help you because we're in competition. Any other time, I got you. And he has never steered me wrong. And so they're mad because he made a perfectly legal trade. They wanted to veto it, but you need like 5 votes for a veto to go through. And I wouldn't do it. And not just because I'm cool with him, but because they had no reason to veto it. They even admitted they wanted to veto it because he was doing a trade with the guy who was the top scorer in our league. And it was an even trade in terms of his he was giving up a running back versus the top guy giving him a wide receiver. And then they were arguing, but running backs usually tend to have higher points scored. But that would be the case with anybody he traded with. He saw the running back that he wanted with, oh boy, that's a legal trade. And so I wouldn't veto it. So that's another reason why they were pissed off. And you know they really fucked him over with that veto, because even though the veto did not go through, by the time it didn't go through, he had already played the game and he lost. So they fucked him up. So then they tried to come at me because I was one of the people who wouldn't veto it, you know. But they're basically just mad, but... you know. Oh, and salute to Southern T. Thanks for all your help, Southern T. Southern T gave me some really good advice this past weekend after they tried to do me dirty. He told me because they pretty much took all the available quarterbacks off the roster so that I couldn't get one. And they knew I needed a quarterback because I have Aaron Rodgers. He was on bye week. And then Dak Prescott is out. So I needed a quarterback. And there's one particular guy, he watches my fucking roster more than I do. So he told everybody to go grab a quarterback. So they all went and grabbed all the available quarterbacks and then tried to do trades with me. Because they want A-Chain from me so bad. And they want Amon-Ra St. Brown from me so bad. And so they tried to offer me these really lowball trades. And I ran some of the trades through that I knew to at least consider. And I ran them through the Southern T. And one of them, he was like, nah, don't take that one. Don't take that one. Then I showed him another one. And he was like, that's a decent trade. That's a decent trade. And then the guy in my department, the one who looks out for me, he said the same thing. He was like, that's a decent trade. But then I told T, I said, you know what? I'm going to go without a quarterback this week. And T was like, that's something I would do. That's something I would do. So I actually went pretty much without a quarterback because the only one they left me was the one that was projected to bring in like 0.6 points. 0.6 points. You guys know him, the backup quarterback for Russell for the Steelers. The backup one that they had promised they would play a little bit more of, but he didn't get much play. Fields, that's who I chose. I got like 2.5 measly points off of him, but I would have lost anyway because the opponent of mine had a wide receiver who went crazy. Unexpected amount of points from one of his wide receivers. So I actually made the right play. So I'm kind of glad T kind of made me feel like it wasn't crazy to not trade with any of them. But anyway, I'm learning how dirty these players can be in these fantasy leagues. But I love the experience. I'm going to be in an NFL fantasy league every year because I really like playing. But anyway, that's all. Have a good day. I'll let you know who wins in the end. But I still got a chance. Versus my coworker, the one who looks out for me, they totally knocked him out of competition for making it into postseason. They did him dirty, man. And they tried to get me. But anyway, that's all. Have a good day, everyone.